Before we do, each of you should have one of these green cards on your visitor's badge. This is it's allowed to be pressurized up.
From an earthquake point of view, you built this thing to withstand the highest known earthquake that's out there.
That's right. We look back historically at the largest earthquake known, called the El Centro earthquake, and and all our foundations go all the way down to bedrock, and they're designed to stand up to 0.1 G of energy at its foundation.
Okay. What are other things that can compromise it? Is that correct?
They were designed to stand the impact of certain size and still maintain their integrity.
Okay.
So that's the design basis, though, of the containment is to withstand the earthquake and withstand certain forms of impact.
Do you think because of what happened in Japan, there'll be a reevaluation of these containment vessels down the country?
I'm sure we'll go back and take a look, and we do use OE from anytime there's an event, whether it's in the country, operating experience. So we'll go back and look and apply the operating experience that happened from the Japanese event and make sure that there's any lessons learned that we can apply here. We will apply those.
Thank you. This is not nuclear grade material, is that correct?
That's correct.
Just kind of walk me through why that can't happen.
Because in order to have a nuclear explosion, you actually have what they call prompt criticality. And so these are not cores that are designed to achieve prompt criticality. You need a higher grade of uranium or plutonium that we don't have, and our reactions are called slow reactions, and so
it's just not technically possible.
The physics won't allow.
So the concern is a radiation leak, quite frankly. That's the concern, right?
The concern from our containment would be radiation leak, and then the containment is designed to withstand any type of a steam explosion from inside.
Thanks.
To a structure, and then we transport it out on the site to our dry cask storage facility.
That 9 years allows the radioactivity level to go down.
It does. The radiation levels decrease, and then more importantly, the heat load decreases.
And the whole reason for Yucca Mountain is to take all of our spent fuel rods that are stored on site and put them in a central repository so they can be better protected and stored longer term.
Correct.
That was the goal for Yucca Mountain.
So at this point, Sandra, where'd Miss Sandra go? So Sandra, what we'd like to do at this point is head for the Unit 1 and 2 control room. So if we could get in front of us, that's what we'll do.
Illustration of the facility itself. The 3 units, the intake up here where the water comes in, there's 12 pumps, brings the channel, there's your bridge from 130 up there at the top where you came across the red line. That's the channel, brings the water in, and then this is the discharge down below where that sign is covered.
We have our dual controller. Unit 1 is on this side, Unit 2 is on that side. There's a dividing line in the middle. We have our senior reactor operator, the gentleman in blue shirt is the senior reactor operator for Unit 2. Mark is our senior reactor operator for Unit 1, and then 2 reactor operators on each unit. The senior reactor operator is like the supervisor, and the ROs, reactor operators, are really like the pilots of the plant. They're responsible for maintaining the plant at a constant power.
This is where you regulate basically the reaction itself, the temperature generated, and the flow of power.
Yes, sir. We maintain a constant power level at Oconee. It's 2568 megawatts thermal. And that's done automatically, and they will monitor that continuously to ensure that everything is controlled.
If they have to shut it down, what would you do?
We have a manual push button in the front of the control room that reactor operator is expected to manually trip the reactor if if you see unexpected conditions, and it will take about 1 second to stop the fission process.
Takeaway from today is that America needs as much safe, abundant, affordable power as possible to grow our economy in the 21st century. And I've always had an all of the above approach. And by that I mean that we should be looking at all kinds of technologies to produce power. Hydropower in the Northwest. At the end of the day, power generation has one common thing. You create heat that turns a turbine. So nuclear power creates heat from nuclear fission that generates steam from water that turns a turbine. And at the end of the day, I feel that the redundant systems we have in place after Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island have served us well. But it is a time is money concept, but there is no substitute for safety. And at the end of the day, I think our permitting process and our licensing process can be reformed, but we need to err on the side of safety.